Welcome everyone, I'm Jordan Sharp. As we head into the final 2 weeks of the NFL regular season, I'm here to give you an opening look at the Week 16 NFL odds here. Some interesting plays this week and a couple of Saturday games this weekend as well. So we'll start off with those two Saturday games. Coming up, the first one in NFC East battle between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Redskins here from D.C. Two teams that lost in week number 15, but really the Eagles the only one that matters here as they are now trailing the Cowboys in that division. And they come into this game anywhere between an 8.5 and a 10-point favorite against the Washington Redskins, total of 50.5. Neither defense is probably going to play very well, so it could be a pretty high-scoring game. But in the end, obviously, Philadelphia really in need of a win here. But Redskins could play spoiler here, depending on whether or not RG3 gets the start here and pulls out something out of nothing here. So it could be a very interesting game here on Saturday to kick things off in Week 16. Next and final Saturday game for you is the San Diego Chargers against the San Francisco 49ers, two teams who also lost in week number 15. 49ers come in as a 2.5-point favorite, total of about 40 to 41 points, depending on which book you're looking at. Chargers, of course, lost to Denver, and the 49ers lost at Seattle. So a couple of teams that really could also need a win here, teams that are trailing somebody in their division as well. So really a couple of key Saturday games for the playoff standings here. Going to be very interesting to see what happens on those games and how it could affect what goes on in the Sunday games. The first Sunday game we have for you this week is the Kansas City Chiefs against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Very interesting AFC game here. Both these teams won in week number 15. Of course, the Chiefs dismantled the Oakland Raiders, whereas the Steelers took care of business and won at Atlanta. And now coming in, two defenses that could very well play big games against one another. Steelers come in as a 3-point favorite with a total of 46.5. First inclination on that one, though, I think is the total. It may just be a little bit high. Look for that to drop down, I think, a little bit as we head in further through the week. Next one I have for you, another great game here between the Indianapolis Colts and the Dallas Cowboys in week number 16. Of course, the Colts won versus the Houston Texans this past week, squeezed one out, whereas the Cowboys, of course, beat the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday Night Football. And now Dallas comes in as a 3-point favorite in this one. Total of 55 points in this one this week. Should be tons of scoring in this one, but Andrew Luck and company is going to have to start off a lot better than what they have in the last 2 or 3 weeks, because they have not looked that great starting off early in games. And Andrew Luck's really not looking like he was earlier in the season. So I think a lot of it has to do with the running game not being as effective as it was earlier in the season, but Dallas at home going to be very tough to beat for them if Andrew Luck does not bring his A game. Next one I have for you is the Sunday Night Football showdown between the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals. Both teams, of course, got their wins in Week 15. Seattle took care of business at home against San Francisco, whereas the Cardinals coming off of a long win against St. Louis on Thursday night last week. And also they are a 7.5-point home underdog in this one, total of 37 points, which is by far the lowest total of the entire week. Seattle, I think, could probably I think if they win this game, obviously I think they have to be considered the favorites to win this division and finish things out in week number 17. But this one is obviously the most important playoff implication game probably of the entire week, and it's going to be a good one on Sunday night. Speaking of good games and nationally televised ones, the Monday Night Football contest between the Broncos and the Bengals should be just as billed. Both teams, of course, also got wins in week number 15. Broncos at San Diego. Bengals demolished the Browns and Johnny Manziel in his first NFL start. Bengals come in as a 3.5 underdog in this one with a total of 48 points. And the Broncos, I think, obviously should be a favorite in this game, but I think the line could end up having some volatility throughout the week, depending on how much people are going to trust Cincinnati and if their defense is finally starting to come back this season. So going to be a good couple of games here on the late slate here in week number 16. I think all of them should have plenty of value. So stay tuned for later in the week, Dax and I's NFL odds update. But until then, I'm Jordan Sharp, and this has been another edition of the Sharp Pick.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.